great nation. Lord, we just pray tonight for the Kirkland and Batiste family and just wrap your arms around them as they go through this unthinkable tragedy. Lord, I pray that the decisions we make not only honor the city, but also honor you. Just keep us on your path. Lord, please bless us with some rain because we need it. And it's in your holy name I pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you both. If you haven't silenced your phones, I'd ask you to do that at this time. I'll silence mine. Public comment, I don't have anything for public comment. Approve the minutes of the June 19th meeting. You've got a copy of that in front of you.
I move we approve the minutes of the June 19th minutes.
I'll second.
Richard made a motion and James has made a second to approve the June 19th minutes. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Financial report.
Leslie.
You have before you the May financial report. If there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer them at this time. You also have in front of you the sales tax report for the money that we received in July.
Are we okay with our expense side of the business? I know we're 74% in general fund and 88% in utility fund.
The utility fund in the general fund, there is the ARPA expenses are showing up as expenses, even though, we have the funds to pay for them. And the same way in the utility, on the budget summary, I put how much expense is showing in the utility fund for the GLO and the Texas Water Development Board. In the future, when we get a grant like that, we will make it a separate fund of its own.
Okay.
But it's kind of easier to just put it on with the regular stuff so you can look at it every month, but it does skew the financials. So,
Well, ARPA funds are in the expense. That means it's in the revenue part too?
yes,
Okay, it's in the same year?
yes.
Do you have an estimate of what our percent revenue will be when the year's ended?
I don't,
Because normally it's around 98%.
yeah.
Just at 100.
I don't right now. I do have the budget sheets that have the up to March with the projection, but I don't have that number in my head.
I'll get it. I'll find it. Just or at least find out what it is, and I'll find out. I'll get with you and see
Okay.
what you think. I know it's a guesstimate, but
Yeah.
well, that'd make me feel better knowing that we're going to be 120% revenue, being 100% expenses is still a good thing. 120% expenses.
Well, and as always, our utility expenditures, we don't get our biggest revenue until the month's coming up. So at this time of year, our expenditures are always ahead of our revenues in the utility fund.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any other questions? Thank you very much. Item number 6, Board of City Commission may discuss and take action on the following agenda items. Item number 1, discussion and consideration of request by Ranger and Cisco College for hotel motel tax event funds for sponsorship of the 3rd annual Ranger Roundup Volleyball Tournament.
Third or fourth?
Huh?
Fourth.
Third annual, what did I say, 4th?
You said third.
It's the fourth. Third consecutive COVID impacted.
I just read what they give me.
Okay. Hi, I'm Nicole Smith. I'm the volleyball coach at Ranger College, and I'm rolling solo this year. Meaning, normally I have the counterpart from Cisco, but this year it's actually my assistant who just got the head job at Cisco. So, yeah, she's adjusting and moving over there. So, due to your helping us in the past, this is the strongest field that we will have. We have 2 teams coming in from Kansas. They're both nationally ranked. We have Seward College coming out of Seward Tech, Liberal, Kansas, and then we have Coffeyville coming, and then we have Midland coming. So with this tournament, we're looking at probably over 60 to 70 hotel rooms over a 2-day span, and then plus them eating in this area, whether it's in Cisco, Eastland, not really Ranger, we don't really have restaurants, so more so Eastland area. But y'all's generosity has helped us really step up, to put the field that we have for this year's tournament. So we're really excited. We're excited. It's a great tournament and ready to get after it.
Good deal. We've got a recommendation by the city manager. Y'all got a little sheet in front of you, if you hadn't seen it, that we fund the entire 6120. We've got a balance of 19,000 in that fund. And the city manager has recommended we.
You don't normally.
We haven't normally done
You
that.
haven't normally.
But
So.
yeah, I know, but I was going to let you speak to say how much you needed. We think this is a great event, and y'all do very well.
We would appreciate whatever amount you'd give us. I think you normally give us $3,500, and we make it work, and we appreciate anything that you give us.
Did you give them all of it? Is that what you said earlier?
I thought we had.
I think we should.
But
I think it's a great deal.
I do too.
And we've got the money to do it. I'll say we do it.
I move we.
What say you?
I move we 6,100, we fund 6,100 of the Wrangler Ranger Roundup.
6120 or 61?
61, whatever it is, 6120, yes.
6120.
We'll take 6,000. We'll promise 6,000. 6,000, it's easy. We split it. Me and us and Cisco.
Okay. What's your motion?
6120.
6120. Thank you.
That's it.
Second.
Got a motion. Do you second that? Got a motion by Richard to fund the 6120 for the volleyball tournament, second by Shirley. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Y'all come
that.
out and watch us whenever we're hosting it. Like I said, you'll see one team that'll be 11 internationals deep. So come on out.
Good deal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Could I talk to you for just one?
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 2, discussion and consideration of second reading of ordinance 23-894, an ordinance of the city of Eastland, Texas, amending Article 5, dangerous buildings of Chapter 5, building and building regulations of the Code of Ordinances, City of Eastland, Texas, by amending in Section 576, inspections and notice of abatement, and provide for an alternate method of providing notice, providing repealer and severability clauses, and establishing an effective date.
Yes, Commissioners, we went over this last month. This is just, to kind of set a clear-cut path on when we have to go down this road of dangerous buildings and condemning them, that there are guidelines in place, and we're going to give that our homeowner every chance to make contact and make the corrections before we proceed with this.
I move that we approve on the second reading of ordinance 23-894.
Second.
Got a motion from Cecil. Who seconded that? Richard. All right, motion from Cecil to approve second reading of ordinance 23-894, and second from Richard. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 3, discussion consideration to approve resolution 2023-08 to deny the rate change application proposed by Encore.
Yes, Commissioners, we go through this every year. This is just to be part of the rates, the committee. We're too small to step out on our own, and we need somebody to lobby for us to help us get an effective rate on our electricity.
I still think we need a rubber stamp with red ink.
Denied.
Yes.
All right. Well, a motion will suffice right now.
I'll make that motion. No, not to get the rubber stamp.
A motion from Cecil to approve resolution 2023-08.
I'll second that.
Second from Shirley. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 4, discuss consideration to approve or disapprove the Eastern County Appraisal District Resolution 2023-071062.
And to handle most of this discussion, Randy Clark with Appraisal District's here to answer questions. Do you want to go ahead and start, Randy?
Sure. Basically, my board of directors has approved the building of a new facility for the appraisal district. We've been saving for this for over 20 years. We've always had a super conservative board, which I appreciate, and never wanted to go in debt to build a building. So now they think they have enough funds and feel good about doing it, so they passed a resolution to build a new facility. We've kind of worked in connection with the Economic Development and the Community Foundation. Community Foundation has donated a lot for us to build on, and so we're excited about it, but it does require me to get a resolution from each of the taxing entities to do this. The biggest questions I get is it's not going to cost the taxing entities any more additional money. In our budget, we've had a line item that's been funding over the years for future contingency to build. So that line item will just switch over to the maintenance of the building. So there will not even be an increase in the budget as we move forward either.
That's why you've been raising appraisals the last several years. Now we
Whatever it takes.
know the secret.
Right.
What lot are you building this on? Where are you building it?
It's been surveyed out. It's behind the crisis center, but there's a lot between us and the crisis center. So we're 2 lots back.
You'll be behind, you'll be south of the crisis center.
Yes, sir.
Really? That's about where the foundation of that old college is, isn't it?
The next lot over.
Yeah, we avoided that
Wow, it'd be a
intentionally.
great foundation. This thing's been there forever. You don't want to dig into it, do you?
Randy, may I ask one question? Have the other tax entities that they've all been,
Everybody I've talked to on the phone is excited about it. The county as well. I mean, the county's kind of cramped for space, so I think they're excited about kicking us out of there. Yeah, I've gotten favorable responses.
Good.
Most people are glad that we're going to be out and away from an elevator that typically doesn't work when we send out notices.
What size building are you planning to build?
The heated and cooled area is 4189.
Pretty good size.
Yes, ma'am.
Got room for all the girls to work there.
That's right. Our biggest need of space is for a boardroom for the appraisal review board when we're meeting with citizens in regards to their protest on property values. And just the logistics of the building we're in is not the most secure facility for us to be in. There's one way in and one way out, and 4th and 5th floors are probation, and so it's not been an ideal situation, but we've stuck with it to not have to borrow money.
Good plan.
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we approve the Eastland County Appraisal District Resolution Number 2023-071062.
A second.
Motion from James and a second from Richard to approve the appraisal district resolution. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Now we'll know where to find you. Item number 5, discuss consideration to approve the 4th Amendment to the contract and agreement with the Waste Connections Lone Star Incorporated, formerly known as IESI Texas Incorporated.
yeah, yes, Commissioner. As we all know, we've been in business with Waste Connections. They've been handling our solid waste service for many, many years. Trash is one thing that a city does not have to bid on for the services after so many years, like our banking contract and others. I did a lot of research and talking to a lot of other cities about the services that they offer that, quite honestly, other competitors don't, that use their services when it comes to bulk pickup, leaf and debris removal and stuff like that. In a meeting that we had with Patrick and Sean, we talked about some issues that, quite frankly, I think over the past couple months since we've had that meeting, it's been better, I think. And the biggest caveat that I found in there on page 1 at the very last paragraph is a 3.5% cap on rate increases, basically, when it comes to capital improvement stuff like that, correct?
Yes.
Everything else in our contract, or excuse me, this amendment will be same. same services, same amount of roll-offs for the convenience center, and so on. With that, taking all these into consideration, I felt like it would probably be best if we just sign a new amendment with them instead of doing an RFP and going out for bids. I personally, this is just my personal feelings, think that it could possibly be an increase in price for others in price if we went with a new competitor. Their prices are very competitive across with other cities. So.
The only question I have,
Yes, ma'am.
JJ, is it says, okay, wait, you're deleting, well, okay, deleting in its entirety, the First Amendment. So you're saying that all this is doing is just changing that very last, everything else is the same?
Yes, ma'am. We sent it to our city attorney, and she actually made that change in there, and she just kind of cleaned some things up that she recommended that change, and she put where it basically all this on the back part 3, 4, 5, and 6 that she felt very comfortable with what they had proposed and everything, and Waste Connections agreed with the way she cleaned it up.
I like the 3.5% cap.
Well, my question is in that number 2, the first line, it says, the base rate shall remain in effect through October 31st, 2024.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, over here on the back, I'm looking at this deal, and it says proposed pricing schedule effective December 1st, 2024. And these don't look different to me. I've gone through it twice, and if there's something different, I hadn't found it.
I haven't either.
Yes, so
You wanna-
basically,
Oh, we got somebody here.
Yeah,
Hey.
Patrick with Waste Connections
so
is here.
basically, we're not going to do any price increase until December 1st, if it's needed. You know, so December 1st of 2024 is when we would do a price increase, and at that, you're capping it at 3.5%. You know, so if it's the CPI is lower, then we'll do lower. You know, but we're not going to go any higher than 3.5.
So this proposed schedule on here really doesn't mean anything.
Well, I don't know on that one. I don't have.
Well, I don't know where this came from.
This came from Sean
Yeah,
Dowden
I didn't get that
with
out with Sean.
yeah.
But yes,
So this could be changed then.
right. So basically, we're not charging anything for the first year at all.
I got that
Any
part.
different, and then go from
Well, I got that part, but I got back here and it said proposed pricing schedule effective December 2024.
Right.
So it's we're good for another year.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, this says I'm good for 2 years.
Right.
That's what it
Yeah.
looks like when they send us an increase.
Yes.
This is the form. that it
Yes,
is.
definitely. So this is what's that for the
It says December.
2024.
Yes, first.
Yeah.
It shows all the same pricings, but
Exactly.
that's not what you're proposing right now.
Right. Now, I'm not saying we're going to increase December 1st at all, you know. I'm just saying there will be nothing for at least a year.
Okay.
And this contract would be where this overall contract would be good for 5 years,
Yes, sir.
until 2028.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
With no more than a 3.5% increase any 1 year. Which is good.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, because I think our
I was
increase.
trying to get 2 years out of him.
Yeah.
Whatever it's like.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's what it says. I'm just reading what it says. Okay. What's your pleasure?
Any more questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the Fourth Amendment to the contract and agreement with Waste Connections, Lone Star Inc.
Okay. Motion by Shirley, the second by James. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. City manager's briefing.
Okay, I want to we're still working with landowners, but I think the biggest excitement for the month was TxDOT called and wanted a 911 address to put a power station at Main Street and I-20. And typically what that means, and I'm trying to contact TxDOT and I got a response, is that they're fixing to put traffic signals there when they do this. So it seems like we are moving in the right direction.
Been a long time coming.
Yes.
A long time.
You know, it was supposed to be done a year
I
ago.
would get excited, but we had surveyors here last year doing something for a project 10 years from now, so just saying.
True story.
Okay,
And,
that is good news. That needs to be done.
and hopefully by next month, we'll have pictures, of the new airport project that will be pretty much complete because they're fixing to get underway with paving. We have a pre-paving meeting on Friday. So, and those have to fall within a certain amount of time per TxDOT regulations. It's gonna look really good and really different. I was out there the other day, and a couple of the pilots were flying in and they were really, really amazed with the way it looked. And that magazine is doing a follow-up to their first piece about our airport. A national aviation magazine did a profile of our airport, and they're coming back to do a second story on it.
That's great.
Yeah,
Good.
Wow, good deal.
yeah.
Super.
Good.
And one more thing, starting tomorrow, I will be out of town through Saturday.
Who's in charge in your absence?
I'm not gonna be here.
Leslie's not gonna be here either.
Boy, you planned that well. All right, Tony, you're up, buddy.
Man in the checkered shirt.
Yeah. So,
Want my chopped liver?
What do you want to speed though, huh? Do what?
My chopped liver.
Yeah. We want it done right. You don't want that job, trust me. Trying to protect you.
Yeah.
Are you through, sir?
yes, sir, I
You
am.
may have any questions for JJ?
Have fun
Okay.
in New York. See your brother.
Yes.
Who's next? Code enforcement.
Yes, sir. Started June with 54 open cases, Terry opened 37 new ones, closed 17, and with 74 cases within the month. Out of those,
Total violations open were 68. Total violations closed were 25. Issued 5 citations. Had 1 property reported for back taxes. Fines assessed this month, $2,597. We had 1 property abated by the city for a cost of $102. And the good thing is that the gentleman that owned that property found out about it and made sure that he paid his lien on that property. So that $102 it cost us, and we put a lien on, going to put a lien on the property. He came down and paid that not too long after the property was abated. It was the one on South Hillcrest, that blue one on the corner there.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir. And we have a good mailing address for that gentleman now, too. So, out of citations, we had 2 for tall weeds, 1 for unlawful property nuisance, depositing, dumping, or burning. It was a repeat. And then 2 more that had unlawful property nuisance, depositing, dumping, burning, no water service, and a fence permit. The guy that built the fence without a permit ended up coming in and get the permit for it. He was good. And that's it for code enforcement, unless you have any questions.
Anybody have any questions? Don?
Can I ask a quick, just a quick one? That property that's across from the Woodlands that is in such horrible, horrible condition,
It's outside city limits.
it's outside.
yes, believe me, if we could have gone after
For that one, we would have, but it is just outside the city limits. Across the street from it.
This side is inside the city limits, but it's outside the city limits right over there. And it goes to, that side of the street goes to Hillcrest.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
You make a motion to annex them?
That's it
You
for
make a
code.
motion to annex them?
Yeah.
Okay, police
I don't
report.
wanna promote that or not.
No.
For the police department, we had 243 calls for service in June. 61 offense reports. We had 175 business checks, 26 arrests. We filed 29 cases with the district attorney's office, one being a juvenile this time. We wrote 118 citations and 265 warnings, for a total of 383 traffic contacts. Our animal control lady, she had 95 calls for service. That ended up with 11 citations issued, 14 warnings, 21 dogs were impounded, and she adopted out 11. So she had a pretty busy week. We had a warrant that we actually did a search warrant in May on a local drug dealer that ended up, we were trying to work, but they did not work. So we ended up re-arresting that person and ended up with over 100 grams of methamphetamines, quite a bit of cocaine, and some more charges on some other people outside of the area off of that arrest. Officer Witzel obtained his intermediate license, so we were happy for that. We did have a boat stolen out of Eastland, and we recovered that in Abilene and filed charges on the person that stole the boat. We had 8 other major, or what I would call big drug arrests within the city in May that we took care of. Walmart has now got an asset protection employee again, which has upped our calls out there. So we're getting quite a few more calls for theft and stuff. So they're enforcing their theft again out there. We did have one extortion of a child over the internet, which we tracked down to a location in Africa. Of course, we have no jurisdiction in Africa, can't file any charges. But all those IP addresses and all that stuff's been turned over to the Secret Service, and we closed that case. 26 different individuals were arrested for numerous charges. Kate went through K-9 school, got out of that, so we were excited about that. And just dealing with the summer heat. We had a pretty busy month last month.
Now, tell me again, Walmart has hired a asset protection?
Yes, and they've had them in the past where they're people that watch and mingle in the crowd, and then they catch people shoplifting. For a while, Walmart got away from that completely, and now they're getting back into it. Well, when that happens, our calls, of course, go up because they catch them, call us, and we end up filing charges on them. So that does help
I'm glad Walmart
curtail
doing
quite a
that.
bit of the theft out there.
That's good.
I've had people tell me that Walmart just quit. You steal something at Walmart.
And I think
People walk in the store, eating food, walking down the aisle.
Physically stop them anymore, but at least they've got somebody dedicated to watching that now.
Well, good. Are they armed, or are they just somebody?
No, they're not on.
They call you for help?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just curious on business checks. In April was 443, May was 227, June is down to 175. What's that?
Well, we're an officer down again, but that's something that I pushed pretty heavy, and I was pushing it real heavy in April, and we've just kind of backed off on a little bit, but we're going to pick it back up. But I think they're filing a lot of cases and concentrating on traffic enforcement right now.
Just a pretty big drop, and I'm curious what.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions for Chief Pitts? Chief Williamson. Thank you, Tim.
Good evening. Thank you. Our total calls for June were 68, and we actually dipped a little bit from last month, and we were kind of surprised with the heat that we had. But the little bit of precipitation that is scattered through here is keeping us fairly stable. This month of June, we ran 2.26 calls a day. 46 of those occurred within the city limits. 17 we traveled outside to the county. We participated in 5 mutual aid events in June, installed 1 smoke detector, and we were alarmed 16 times after 10 o'clock at night and before 7 in the morning. We attended 3 structure fires in the month of June, 4 grass fires, and 1 vehicle fire. 34 times we assisted the EMS crews out on medical emergencies, and we attended 8 motor vehicle accidents, and 7 public assist, 9 false alarms or some type of investigation. We had 2 hazardous material type events. One was natural gas, and one was a polypipe ruptured, and we lost product out north of the airport. So we attended that. We lost 2 members due to relocation. So as of July 4th, we're back up to full staffing. So the fire department's running on the normal scheduling and with an 8 to 5 chief. And so the beauty of that is that we had 2 members responding, where previously when we were short one, we didn't have that 8 to 5 person to respond with the engine. So we're back to normal staffing. And from the fire marshal's office, we have 3 certificate of occupancies pending. I've made contact with those businesses. They're in the process of finishing up the small projects to get open. And we'll get those certificate of occupancies completed and get those businesses open for business.
Mutual aid normally is 1 or 2 a month, and you had 5. So,
Yeah.
what was that?
I don't recall. I know the 3 structure fires, all 3 of those were significant working fires in Ranger. So I know 3 of those were, one was over for, we responded with Olin into their primary response district. And I don't recall the 5th one.
I used to have to be a lot of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 3 structure fires, I actually thought, well, I kind of mentioned in the report last month, I thought it was going to spike a little. I thought it was more than that, but those were 3 significant fires.
And medical assist, is that all for the hospital, for the ambulance service? When I see medical assist 34, that's all 34 of the ambulance service.
Yes, sir. Those are categorized if we respond with the ambulance. If it's an event where it's not EMS or we're not responding with the ambulance, you'll see it in the public assist. So every one of those that are medical assist are when we respond conjunctionally with the EMS service.
You're going to help the ambulance.
Yes, Mrs. Smith, but in turn, yes, the ambulance.
Okay.
And if the ambulance is not a part of the event, then we categorize it into a public assist. So that breaks those 2 categories out.
You'd be pretty happy to see them when they show up ahead of
Well, no,
I'll tell you that. They showed up last for my wife. I
No,
know.
I don't have any problem with that. I'm just making sure that number
Yeah.
is
I just
total.
would be happy to see them.
Yeah, and that's what I'm, when you see that number, that is oriented with the ambulance, to assist the ambulance.
Okay. Any other questions for?
The other, you could add the motor vehicle accidents in there, because typically with a report of a motor vehicle accident, we also respond in conjunction with the medics. So you can bring those 2 categories together.
Well, but a motor vehicle accident, you're there for other reasons.
It could be, yeah.
Hurt, you're there for
It could
traffic
be,
help,
exactly.
with traffic, with the police or anything else. But the medical assist
Is for, to assist
specifically
the
for the ambulance.
transport service.
To help the ambulance people get somebody transported. Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Thank all of you.
Move adjourned.
Richard, got a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Got a second from Cecil. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you very much. You have a safe trip, sir.
Thank you.